Hey guys, welcome to Dalton Laboratories. I'm Sławek and today I've got an Amiga 600 computer here on my desk with the game loaded. There is a lot of great games for the Amiga computer, but this one is not so popular. It's called Allo Allo and it's obviously based on the great TV series. Actually, it's one of my favorite games and I would love to play it and help René to find all the paintings of the fallen Madonna with the big boobies. But the problem is, my joystick is not in the working condition at the moment. I will fix it one day. And today I'm gonna show you how to create an adapter that allows you to use modern USB keyboard as a joystick replacement for the Amiga computer. So, if you want to know how to do this, then listen very carefully, I shall say this only once. Let's check how the joystick port works. If I take a wire and make a connection between the 8th pin and, for example, the first pin, then René jumps. Second pin, René bends down. Third pin, René moves left. And fourth pin, René moves right. Left, right. So why it works? The 8th pin is in the low state and the 7th pin is in the high state. Other pins, which I marked as yellow, are inputs and by default they are in the high state. When we make a connection between the 8th pin and an input pin, then we set the state of this input pin to low, and then Amiga reads this state and knows that something happened, that we moved our stick or we pressed the button. So now I'm gonna choose and program a microprocessor to set these states high or low appropriately for me, and of course to handle USB keyboard because that's our goal. And there is a lot of microprocessors to choose from. For this particular project I will choose Arduino Xiao. It's quite small, quite cheap, but very powerful microprocessor, and what's more important, it can act like an USB host, so it will handle keyboard. It's not just a microprocessor, it's a processor with some basic components like voltage regulator and USB socket and piece of protoboard together. And nowadays you don't need anything to start playing with it. You don't need any separate programmers or things like that. You just need a cable and computer to program it. So let's find out how the code for this adapter looks like. Let's start with the setup function. In setup function I'm starting the USB host, and I'm not an author of this library. Here is this library, you need to install it, but I won't show you how because you will find better places and tutorials for this. I'm very grateful for the authors of this library. It's a lot of fun to play with USB devices. Okay, and so I'm starting the USB, and also I'm setting appropriate Arduino pins as output. Pin number 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So those pins. Digital number 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And they will be used for handling up, down, left, right, and fire. So let's see the loop function. Loop function loops forever, and it handles USB tasks. I don't know what's inside, but it works thanks to the external library. And I'm setting appropriate states, low or high, to the pins up, down, left, right, and fire. And how could I know which state to set? I have variables up, down, left, right, and fire, and they are defined here. And there are also two functions more, key pressed and key released, and they would be called if keyboard button was pressed or released. And I'm calling the handle key action function inside these two functions. And in handle key action, I'm getting the magic number, the key code of the key which was pressed or released. And if it was 79, then I know it's right arrow. And I remember that right arrow was pressed or released. And the same for left, down, up, and fire. And then in the loop function I know which state to set. And this code is not very complicated, it's quite simple. And all we need to do is to upload it to our device. Okay, so we've just uploaded our code, and now we will see if it works correctly. I've prepared this plug before with some proto wires and connected everything to our microcontroller, and now let's see if it works as expected. So first of all, I will plug this to the Amiga computer, and then I will need another adapter, USB on the go adapter, that exposes a standard USB socket for me. And finally I can connect keyboard receiver, because I'm gonna use wireless keyboard. Okay, so now I should be able to use these arrow keys and space as fire to control René. Let's check if it works correctly. Yeah, I'm moving right, left, and jump works as well. Let's take some objects and try to throw them away using the fire button. Yeah, fire button works too. That's great! That's all for today. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye!